Peugeot is going big with electric, and we've not only got the e-3008, the e-3008, the e-3008, we've now got this, the e-3008, a much bigger range. Let's take a closer look and see how it stacks up. So the Peugeot e-3008 is built on an entirely new platform, which is going to underpin some of its new models. Now, the e-3008 front end, quite dramatic looking, this sort of vortex looking grille up here, but actually really low coefficient of friction. It's only 0.28 is the drag coefficient, which is nice and slippy. That means you get better range. In fact, on the motorway, you'll see around sort of 3.9 to 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is great to see on a vehicle of this size. On the GT model, which this is, we've got these full LED lights with these sort of cat scratchy sort of look LED daytime running lights running down the front. The sensor here for your forward collision detection and your radar for your automatic cruise control. On the GT line model as well, you'll get these black plastic highlights down here, and that follows round over the wheel arch, and it's picked up again in the wing mirror covers, so we've got this sort of more sporty look to it. And these 20-inch alloy wheels on the GT version, which is 235/50 R20. That's a big SUV tyre, and this is not a small vehicle. I'd say size-wise, it seems very similar to the Nissan Ariya, which we've reviewed previously. The GT line also has this Peugeot shield, so that's a good way of telling straight away which model you're looking at, the Allure or the GT. We've got a black roof. Now this is actually available as a panoramic roof as an option on the GT line as well. Moving around, we've got the charging flap here. Now, this car available both as a full electric car, which this is, or as a plug-in hybrid. So on the full electric version, you've got the flap this side for your Type 2 charger and your CCS. On the plug-in hybrid, there's a petrol flap on the opposite side, for you to obviously be able to put petrol in as well. And this rear spoiler juts out. It's actually a floating spoiler. It's actually got a gap under here. And underneath, you'll see it's got like a sort of ridge of a whole load of different, like little spoilers almost underneath, which are aiming to direct the airflow across the rear window. And that's because this rear window has no rear wiper. Instead, it's cleaned by the airflow directed across it. This is acting a bit like a Dyson hand dryer. It's directing the airflow across this, creating a curtain of air, which forces the water down and over the spoiler, and this spoiler to direct the airflow away from the back of the car. We've got these rather dynamic claw marks again on both sides with these red LEDs looking like they're almost floating in midair there, really cool looking. And on this GT version, you've got powered tailgate, which with the swipe of your foot will open. There is also a button as well. Into quite a cavernous boot with quite a bit of versatility actually. We've got a load level here. We can actually take this and move it down underneath, and actually, well, we could if we didn't full of stuff. There's quite a bit of storage underneath here for things like charging cables, etc. And actually that will just, so actually you've got to stay there, so you can actually hold it up whilst you load underneath and then push it down. It gives you load level through. The back seat on this model is actually a 40-20-40 split, so rather than a 50-50 or a 60-40 like you might normally see, you actually the option of folding either outside seat or just the middle seat or all of them. So you've got a lot more configurability in that. And we've also got a 12-volt socket up here, so if you're running things like a cool box when you're going on family trips, that's also in there as well. So a really good family-sized boot actually. And again, this is not a compact car, this is quite a large crossover stroke SUV, although Peugeot are actually defining this as a fastback due to this rakish angle that they've given to the rear screen. So overall, I think quite a accomplished looking package. It looks like a stylish car, the jutting rear spoiler there giving it quite a sporty edge. Let's see what it's like on the inside. So the interior of the e-3008 feels quite futuristic really. We've got this almost floating 22-inch screen up here with this sort of pointy angles and things on it. It looks like it floats. You can obviously fix at the back there, but you've got a really big wraparound screen there, which looks more integrated than you'll see in a lot of other twin screen setups from other brands. And it's very configurable. We can take this display here, we can move the mapping to here, we can put just a clock here. If you want to simplify it down, you can have just the speed and just a clock. Or you can have all the data, all the time. Just press the end of the stalk and you can change everything around, so you can see radio signals and your miles per kilowatt and all that sort of stuff. And you can see that over the steering wheel, because Peugeot's got this thing called the iCockpit, which basically means that It's a smaller, compact, more sort of go-karty type steering wheel, and you see the display over the top of this, and so it gives you really good visibility all the way around. You're never looking through the wheel, you're looking over the top. Screens up here, very clear, very nice high resolution screens. This screen here, we can actually configure. This is for our shortcut buttons. We can actually choose what we want on there. So for example, at the moment we've got phone, navigation, climate, media, heated steering wheel, but you can change all these around. You can put them in any sort of order that you like, and you can actually add anything else. So for example, you can set it so that I always have this seat heater on. I'll put the right seat heating button there, so I don't have to go through different menus and things. That's what I want, because it's just usually me in the car. I'll tap that there and it works. Under this, we've then got this center console. The old 3008 always used to have a biggish console here with a grab handle. On this version, the new version, it's got buttons up here which are fixed. So you've got a temperature button, climate on off, heated rear screen, recircuit motion, and demist the front screen. So those sort of like common things that you might need at a touch, you've always got there anyway. Drive mode selection, we can go between normal, sport, or eco, and that affects the amount of range you're going to get. Hazard light button, volume or power on. There is also volume controls on the steering wheel for the driver to do it themselves, and the parking handbrake button here. This center console, everything, you might see this grey sort of marl fabric on here, which actually does lift the interior quite nicely and gives it a more open feel. It goes on all these surfaces round, and it actually continues on the back of the seats and into the back of the side doors as well. We've got two cup holders. We've got a storage for your phone there, which is wireless charging on the GT. If we press this button here, this section rolls around. We've got two USB-C ports here, a 12-volt port, and a deep storage bin there that you'll be able to put your phone in, for example, keep it out of the way. If you don't want to have it up on view there, you can have it down, tucked underneath there. Under the armrest here, I think we've got a sliding tray in there. We've got some illumination there. That is actually air conditioned, so if you've got drinks in there, that'll keep it nice and cool. We've got sunglasses holder up here, a couple of LED lights. So overall, it feels very much sort of like a cockpit. You've got this, because it comes in at this side here and here, it does feel very much, when you're driving, as though you're enclosed in the car, and you don't feel perhaps as open as you do in something like a Hyundai Ioniq 5. It's more cocooning. This lighting on the side here can be adjusted, so you've got a selection of different colours you can choose, so you can match your outfit. If you want to go for turquoise to match this, you can do. So overall, yeah, it's quite a well thought out interior. This GT line comes with Alcantara seats, which are quite strong rib design on them, with this sort of greeny yellow stitching around the outsides. Very comfortable, quite supportive. I think it's a accomplished interior, certainly from the driver's point of view. Let's see what it's like in the back. So in the back of the e-3008, we've got plenty of headroom. I'm 5'11", the seat's set for me, I've got enough above me. A couple of inches of leg room as well. The way the seat sort of curves out the way does give you slightly increased, perhaps 3 or 4 inches of leg room in the middle there. We've got another 12-volt socket in the middle here. We've got two USB sockets down here. A little tray for oddments. We've got a couple of air vents to give some ventilation to rear passengers as well. Electric windows. Quite spacious, quite a lot of width on the car here. We have actually managed to fit 3 adults across the back of here. I'm not saying the person in the middle, will have loads of leg room. They'll have to go either side of the centre console because that's fixed and that doesn't move out of the way. But you can fit certainly width-wise, you can fit 3 adults very comfortably. We've got an armrest here with a couple of cup holders and an oddments tray. Or remember that sort of 40-20-40 split you can do. So you can actually, if you had something a long load, you've been to IKEA and you bought a Billy bookcase or whatever, you can fold down the middle here and take that through the centre of the car. And actually, because of the way it lines up with the middle of the front seats as well, yeah, quite longish loads could go through there without any problem really. And again, we've got this Alcantara seating, which is very nice, and the nice stitching. Yeah, overall, it's very practical as a family car. It's plenty of space, plenty of room. Let's see what it's like to drive. So, at launch, this car's available with just one choice of motor and one choice of battery. So it's a 210 brake horsepower electric motor driving the front wheels, and the battery size is 73 kilowatt hours, and that's good for a range of up to 327 miles officially. In the real world, we've been seeing probably close to about 280, which sort of fits in with other models like the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6. Now there is a bigger battery version going to be available by the end of this year, a 95 kilowatt hour battery, and that'll be giving a range of up to 425 miles, which is closer to what people will think of when they think of a petrol or diesel car, I suppose, in terms of how big a fuel tank is. So really quite impressive range figures there. No idea of pricing on that larger battery version at the moment, so we'll have to sort of keep our eyes peeled for that coming out. But my thought is probably this battery is big enough. There is also talk of an all-wheel drive version coming at the end of this year, which will use the bigger battery, but obviously not quite get as much range because it'll have 2 electric motors, even more power. But in terms of driving, it's very easy to drive. 0 to 60 is 8.8 seconds, which is enough to keep up with traffic, certainly. It's not so sporty, so you're not going to be sacrificing range for a traffic light Grand Prix every time you set off, because it sort of encourages you to drive a little bit more eco, I guess. This 20-inch wheels feel slightly firm, perhaps over some potholes at the moment, but it's never to the point of being uncomfortable. And actually, as a place to sit, these seats are very well bolstered. They keep you held in the seats very nicely. We've got really good visibility all the way around. And on this GT model, we've also got the 360-degree cameras and parking sensors, and I have to say actually a really good turning circle, which is surprising for this size of vehicle. So yeah, in terms of driving, it's easy, it's simple. You can basically just jump in, flick a switch into drive, and you know, with no tuition whatsoever on having ever driven an electric car before, you'll be off on your way. This GT model, it's got lane keep assist, it's got speed adjusting cruise control. If you go for the Allure model, it's got cruise control, but it's not got the radar to keep it a set distance from the car in front. So talking about pricing, if you go for the Allure spec, which is the entry level point for the electric, then it starts at $45,850, so £150 less than £46,000, which puts it on par with other models like the Kia EV6, Nissan Ariya. If you want this, the GT spec, it's £3,800 more, so coming in £350 less than £50,000. If you want to put a tow bar on it, you can do. So the electric model can actually tow up to 1,250 kilos, which is actually 250 kilos more than the hybrid version, which is interesting. This GT version is a lovely place to sit. It's a really nice car and it's nicely finished. The Allure spec also feels very nice inside. So if some of the things that you get on the Allure, on the GT, that you're not that fussed about, just weigh it up in your head, because £3,800 you could probably save quite a bit of money and get 90% of the experience for quite a lot less cost. In terms of pricing, obviously we think that this is going to appeal to a lot of company car buyers and people who get cars on salary sacrifice through their work, where obviously the benefit in kind is only very low at 2 or 3% benefit in kind. And so you can save masses of money both on running costs but also in terms of company car costs. If you're a private buyer, take a look out for the latest PCP and leasing offers which we've got on our website. You'll find details in the links below. What do you think about this car? Do you think that this is something that can stack up well against, for example, a Tesla Model Y? Let us know in the comments below, and let us know what you think about the larger range battery. Do you think that going for a 425 mile range rather than 327 would be enough to make you want to pay, a few £1,000s more? How important is that extra range? Would you use it on a daily basis? Let us know in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel where we'll be reviewing all the other Peugeot electric models over the coming weeks. So in terms of charging, so this is a 73 kilowatt hour battery. Under here it's got a AC Type 2 charger, and it's also got DC CCS. The CCS charger, like this, it can go up to 160 kilowatts, which is enough to go from 10 to 80% in just half an hour. It's really good on that long distance journeys. So overall, what do we think about the Peugeot e-3008? Well, it's a welcome addition to the Peugeot brand. It represents good value. It represents an excellent family size car, and the quality shines through. It really feels like they've thought about everything that you're going to touch in there. In many ways, it's the antithesis of the Tesla Model Y. That's got a very Spartan interior, feels very, very technologically focused. This one, still got a lot of technology on it, but it actually feels like they've actually thought about the ergonomics a lot more. And that's why I think it deserves to be on your shopping list. If you want to test drive this vehicle, you can do from our new Peugeot dealership in Ormskirk and very shortly to be in Wigan and Blackpool also. What do you think about the Peugeot e-3008? Let us know in the comments below and click the like button, it really helps us out. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click up here to subscribe to our channel. We do these videos quite regularly, you'll see all the new models coming out as they do. Click up here for more information about the Peugeot e-3008 on our website, and click down here to see other video reviews we've done of electric cars.